Check it out, y'all. It's your boy, your Cash, back in the building.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
We got a video right here titled World War III just got way worse.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though that the US-Iran war has gotten so much more worse, and we are now verging on into territories of which we cannot retreat from. This is bad.
The US-Iran war is widening fast. What started as a conflict between 3 countries has now dragged a staggering 13 into the fallout.
And I just gotta say, after seeing and absorbing various medias related to this war, I now have a better understanding as to why all these countries and regions are involved, and that's because Iran is crashing out. Basically, they're threatening to destroy the Strait of Hormuz, which is basically, quickly sum it up, is a waterway necessary to transport vital energy supplies like oil. In fact, based off of what I heard, 20% of all the global oil transported is transported through this strait, and many Asian and European countries use this for their energy production to keep their societies alive, essentially. So if that is threatened, a lot of countries will starve in under a year. And Iran is basically saying, hey, continue with this war. You'll see just how far we're willing to go. We will starve you out.
And today marked a major escalation because Iran struck UK military bases in Cyprus, meaning for the first time this war has now officially touched European territory.
And they're only doing that because basically they've also said any country within their perimeter, their radius, that their ballistics missiles can reach, they will be attacking US military bases because, hey, you're in cahoots with the USA. And we do not like.
No! This whole situation started when Russia attacked Ukraine. That was kind of crazy because I'm like, why would Russia just all of a sudden attack Ukraine? And then US had to flex its little muscles and be like, all right, y'all want to attack something? Let's show you how we can attack something.
Essentially, a lot of this is collateral damage.
Now, in response, the UK has authorized the United States to use its military bases to help destroy Iran's missile systems, and a member of the European Parliament for Cyprus is already calling for action.
Cyprus is an EU territory, and one attack on a member state should be considered as an attack to the entire European Union.
This is how we gradually slide into something that becomes a global phenomenon, and we don't want this.
We want and we expect a united response from the entire European Union.
And that wasn't the only development today. Lebanon has now been dragged into this conflict as well after Hezbollah launched strikes on Israel in solidarity with Iran.
Yes, Hezbollah. We've not heard from them in a while, but they're now back in the fray. And if you guys don't know, according to Wikipedia, Hezbollah is a Shia Islamist Lebanese political party and paramilitary group. So they're pretty much what we would consider extremist. And to my knowledge, Shia is a subset faith under Islam, which makes up 10 to 15% of the faith. And these people, they're basically the barbarians of the Islamic world. They literally, especially during Ramadan, which is now, are sacrificing their lives to die under this supposed holy war. They don't care about dying. It's actually an honor for them to die in battle, especially with the killing of their leader, the Ayatollah. A lot of these people are now globally Shia, the Muslims who practice that specific type of Islam, are kind of now banding together and are trying to F shit up. Honestly, this is very dangerous. And it's funny, someone in the comment section said, we were so close, bro, with an image of GTA. I mean, hey.
No, for real. I thought I was going to be, I'm already got my gaming channel going right now. You feel me? I'm ready just to play GTA 6. And we are in a crisis right now. I don't know how this is going to end. I don't know if it's going to end good. Right now, it's just a lot of controversy and a lot of propaganda going on. And I'm not messing with it right now.
Hey man, another person said, imagine World War III starting because a guy wanted to cover up his files. Wink, wink. I'm sure you guys all understand what that's about. It's just sad that we are now being dragged into a potential global war because of one tiny little city in the desert who can't stop beefing with Muslims. It's amazing.
Solidarity with Iran. Meanwhile, Qatar and Saudi Arabia were pulled in a pretty major way after a number of their energy facilities were hit. Qatar, which supplies around 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas, they were forced to suspend their operations. And the same goes for Saudi. Their largest oil refinery had to temporarily halt production after a large fire broke out. And then there's NATO.
So yeah, Iran is basically attacking, again, territories that are in coalition with the USA and Israel that either have military bases and or provides energy to the USA, which includes Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and I believe also Iraq. That's why we went into that war. Not for weapons of mass destruction, but for oil. Everything is oil, energy, and domination. And as for the rest of these countries, they basically are regional countries where we have US military bases that we can use in collaboration with the governments from those countries to basically have ports closer to the Middle East in order to attack our enemies, in this case, Iran. Another person said it's literally Iran versus everyone, bruh. I mean, shout out to them. They're really tough. Like, they're very prideful and tough people.
And then there's NATO. We got their comments for the first time after their Secretary General called Iran a threat to Europe, Israel, and the wider region, saying Europe is really stepping up after this weekend's operations.
And yeah, unfortunately, you know, European countries and certain Asian countries are probably gonna have to enter the fray because literally, as the professor explained yesterday, but you know, we were watching this now today, the GCC, which are the Gulf states, they control a considerable amount of oil relative to their population or their sizes. They control about 20% of the oil transport in the world, which is consumed by not only us.
No, that's crazy, okay? The oil transportation. We need oil. The reason why we do need oil, you know, to get around America or get around in general. We need oil for a lot of different things. Oil is one of the most sacred types of elements in the world, okay? That's doing a lot of damage. We're not even having a fight in a war, okay? That's just doing a lot of damage. So what are we gonna do about that, okay? I know we're not gonna just sit there and just stand there and just be like a little punk and be like, oh, y'all, okay, cool. All right, we're gonna stop doing what we doing because y'all wanna cut the oil off, okay? Yeah. So this is gonna get real serious real soon. All right.
But China and places like Japan and Europe, if 20% of the oil or global transport of oil is affected and essentially locked out from being transported by the Gulf states, Qatar, Saudi, UAE, from being transported to the rest of us, especially if it's being locked or gatekept or stunted for an extended period of time, people will start to starve. Most of our energy comes from oil. 20% is crazy. I heard projections that if Japan doesn't get a lot of their oil, which does come from the Gulf states as well, they basically fall within 8 to 9 months. Their society collapses. A lot of European countries will go cold. They will collapse. And not only on top of oil being exported, the Strait of Hormuz is needed to get food into the Gulf states as well because they don't really grow their own food like that and they don't really have a lot of fresh water reserves. A lot of their oil is transported to us in exchange for food, water, money. So it's a mutual beneficial relationship. And guess who knows that? Iran. They understand how important this choke point is and they are willing to crash out even though they need this choke point themselves. At this point, it's like a war of attrition. Let's see who dies first. And because they're so extreme and they are the Shia Muslims, they're very prideful and they will crash out to the end. I don't think people understand.
Yeah, and a lot of people got to understand, like the people in different countries, they're real crash out mindset. Like they really do. They don't care. Okay, a lot of them be like suicide bombers. If you ever played like Call of Duty, y'all know, you know, educational purposes only. Okay. A lot of them be real violent, okay?
Of course, that's an oversimplification of what is currently going on. It gets way more deep. But we are now being dragged into, again, a global conflict because certain people in the desert of a specific faith in our country who supports those people can't stop beefing with Muslims. And they also feel threatened by Iran having so many ballistic missiles and their nuclear program, them wanting to create nukes for themselves to have more power in their region. It's a whole mess. And this professor right here, from Predictive History, Professor Jiang, I believe, formerly from China, now he's in Canada, he genuinely believes we may be entering World War III.
There's NATO. We got their comments for the first time after their Secretary General called Iran a threat to Europe, Israel, and the wider region, saying Europe is really stepping up after this weekend's operations. But when asked if NATO forces would get involved in this situation, he made it pretty clear. He said this is being led by the United States and Israel. So for now, NATO is staying out of it. But of course, as the situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
So NATO is staying out of it for now, quote unquote, but I believe they're already involved because once energy production reaches a point to where it's not sustainable and the Strait of Hormuz is in a point to where Iran is not willing to back up and allow oil to be exported exported from the Gulfs and imported into these countries, a lot of people will start to suffer. Gas prices will start to significantly increase, and that'll affect food prices. And once food prices increase exponentially and oil prices, gas prices increase exponentially, and people start hurting in the pockets and people start starving, then that's when governments will have to get involved and a lot of bad shit will start to pop off. And I don't want that. Someone here said in the comment section, said, so Trump has successfully started World War III. As much as I'd like to kind of say, hey, that's an exaggeration, potentially in a way, yes, but via indirectly by supporting Israel in their efforts to try and destroy Iran. And I want people to understand, it's not because Israel is kind-hearted and they're
crazy. I mean, we could have stopped this whole situation from happening. But like I said, all Iran had to do, okay, it just be a bitch, okay. That's all you had to do. All right, all you had to do is listen to Mr. You feel me, the president, okay. Then none of this would have happened. But at the same time, I know you guys are defending your country, so we can't tell another country what to do and what not to do. So this is basically why there's an issue going on here. But yeah,
care about the people of Iran and they want to destroy an oppressive regime. No, they couldn't, they don't care. They didn't just all of a sudden gain a new set of morals. It's because they want regime change so that they can insert their own politicians to have control of Iran, insert their own little puppets in collaboration with the US so that they can have more power. And so that Iran is no longer a threat and that they can have more regional control over the Gulf states. Expansion, more oil, more power. And supposedly this whole thing is supposed to die down in 4 to 5 weeks, so I heard. Hopefully that happens, but it does not look like Iran is backing down. It looks like they're willing to fight to the bitter end, so we'll see what happens. But if you guys want a better understanding, somewhat, sort of, about why we are where we are now, go check out Predictive History on YouTube. Game Theory number 9, the US-Iran War. It should really be titled the US-Israel-Iran War. You know, in that video, it'll talk about the Strait of Hormuz, how important it is, how we got here, why, when, future projections, etc. Someone said, how North Korea waiting for anything to fly their way. That's crazy. Anyways.
Nah. You see, we don't play that with North Korea. We really don't. We don't. For some reason, we don't do that to North Korea. But I'm gonna let y'all figure that out. But let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all, like I said, if y'all think that we might go in World War III, let me know in the comments, okay? And as always, if y'all want to start your own gaming or YouTube channel content creation journey, man, I got some links down below that will help you with some products. Basically, if y'all buy different products, which I do earn commission from Amazon, you guys will be the next best content creator in the world, man. I'm giving y'all game, I'm giving y'all sauce. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Deuce.